Implementation issues. Software engineering includes all the activities involved in software development process. That is from requirement specification to maintenance and management of deployed system. So some implementation aspects that are important to software engineering are reuse, configuration management, and host target development. So these are the three important aspects of implementation that are important to the software engineering. We shall see one by one. The reuse. In sense, most of the modern software are constructed by reusing the existing components or system. Next is configuration management. During the development process, many different versions of each software component will be created. This is said as configuration management. Next is host target development. Software does not usually execute on the same computer. It means you develop it on one computer, that is, which is the host computer or host system, and you execute it on a separate computer, that is, which is the target computer, that is as the host target development production. So these concepts are very important to the software engineering. Now let's see one by one. Reuse. Software reuse is possible at different levels. That is at the abstraction level and the object level and component level and the system level. First we see about the abstraction level. At this level, you don't reuse the software directly, but rather use knowledge of successful abstractions in the design of your software. In the sense, at the abstraction level, you don't reuse the software directly, but you reuse the knowledge of the successful abstraction that is made in the software design. Next is object level. At this level, you directly reuse the objects from the library rather than writing code by your own. So that we say as the in the that we say as the software reuse at the object level. And next comes the component level. In the component level, here you make a reuse of components. In the sense, components are nothing but a collection of objects and object classes that operate together to provide related functions and services. So here you make use of the components, that we say is the software reuse at the component level. Next is the system level. At this level, you reuse entire application systems. So what you do in the system level, at this level you will make that is you will reuse the entire application system itself. So these are all the different levels where the software can be reused. Next, we will move on to the configuration management. In software development, change happens all the time, so change management is absolutely essential. Three fundamental configuration management activities are version management, system integration, and problem tracking. So let's see now what is configuration management in the sense. Configuration management is the name given to the process of managing a changing software or managing a changing system. So there are mainly three fundamental configuration management activities. They are first one version management, and second one system integration, and third one is problem tracking. So what is version management? Version management is where support is provided to keep track of different versions of the software components. So that is has the version management. Then coming to the system integration. System integration is where support is provided to help the developers define what versions of the components are used to create each version of a system. That is, we say as the system integration. Then is problem tracking. Problem tracking is where support is provided to allow the users to report bugs and the other problems in the system. So these are all the three fundamental configuration management activities. Then we'll move on to the host target development. Host target development. Most of the software development is based on a host target model. Then software is developed on one computer, that is the host, but runs on a separate machine, that is target. So host target development, in the sense most of the softwares are developed on a host target model. In the sense, in the companies, the software is developed on one computer. That computer we call it as the host on which the software has been developed. And when it is deployed, it runs on a separate machine that we call it as a target machine. That is a separate machine. This kind of production we call it as the host target development. Next, we will move on to the open source licensing. So most of the open source licenses are derived from one of the three models, that is GNU General Public License. We call it as GPL. And second one is a GNU Lesser General Public License, that is LGPL. And third one is a Berkeley Standard Distribution License, that is BSD license. So GNU, that is General Public License, GPL. This is called as a reciprocal license. It means that if you use open source software that is licensed under GPL license, then you must make that software open source. So coming to the GNU Lesser General Public License, that is LGPL. This is a variant of the GPL license. It means here you can write the component, that is you can use the components that link to the open source code without publishing the source of these components. It is said as a variant of the GPL license. Next is Berkeley Standard Distribution License, that is BSD license. This is a non-reciprocal license. In sense, you are not obliged to republish any changes made to the open source code. So this is regarding the open source licensing. So most of the open source licenses are derived from one of the three general models. They are GNU, GPL, GNU LGPL, and BSD license. So far, we have discussed implementation issues. So we have seen the important aspects of implementation issues concerned to the software engineering, that is reuse, configuration management, and host target development. And coming to the reuse and the software reuse, it can be done at the number of different levels, that is abstraction level, object level, component level, and system level. At these levels, software can be reused. And then configuration management, the three fundamental configuration management activities are there, that is version management, system integration, and problem tracking. Then host target development, in the sense software is developed on one computer and it runs on a separate machine, that is the target. So we call it as the host target development production. And we have come across the open source licensing. Thank you.